This meeting is being conducted in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by advertisement in the Cape May Star and Wave, on the Township website, and posted on the Bulletin Board of Township Hall.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What's ticking?
It's the machine.
Don't scare me.
Blow up.
Yeah,
Got 15 minutes.
we're having a tough machine day.
Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Conrad?
Here.
Councilmember Neville?
Here.
Councilmember Simonson?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Here.
Mayor Beck?
Here. Okay, no items on the work session. We move down to the consent agenda. Council comments on the consent agenda. Open up for public comment on the consent agenda. Not having any public comments, we'll close that portion. Jewel?
Approval of minutes, November 3rd, 2014. Resolutions 2014-299 through 2014-308.
Do I have a motion to approve in a second?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Neville?
Yes.
Councilmember Simonson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.
Resolution number 2014-309. This is authorizing the payment of vouchers in the amount of $5,000 for Lower Township Rescue. This is the final 2014 expense payment.
Okay, do I have any council comments on this resolution? Open up for public comment. Close the public portion. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Recuse.
Councilmember Neville?
Yes.
Councilmember Simonson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.
Resolution number 2014-310. This is authorizing the payment of vouchers in the amount of $9,250 to Oliveri, Showski, and Kiss. This is for the Public Safety Building.
Do I have any council comments? Open up for public comments. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. What does it mean? Payment for what?
It's a payment for the architect, correct?
For the architect of, oh, I'm sorry, thank you. Kathleen Dinan, thanks.
Right,
So it's just for the architect for the work he's done, I see.
right.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Any other public comments? Close the public portion. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
No.
Councilmember Neville?
Yes.
Councilmember Simonson?
No.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.
Resolution number 2014-311. This is an appointment to the Municipal Utilities Authority Board, Lower Township MUA Board. Sorry, I should say
Okay.
Lower Township.
Council comments?
I'd like to have this tabled. In the past, you've said anytime there's a council changeover, you didn't like things happening after the election until the new council took place. So I'm just throwing it out there to table the resolution for right now.
Yeah, I can tell you when I said that. But that being said, council continues its business. Council's
Okay.
still in session.
Yes, it's
Still has
do as I say.
4
not as I
weeks,
do.
so
Okay.
from from that perspective,
All right.
there
Mayor,
is. Go ahead.
I'd like to propose some.
Well, wait a second. I'd like to hear from the public also.
public.
Is there any public comments on this recommendation, appointment to the MUA board? Yes, ma'am.
Kathleen Dinan, didn't you recently appoint somebody who resigned the day after the election to the MUA board?
I don't know if it was the day after, but he did resign.
Did he say why?
No, I don't know that he did. I know, well, there's personal issues.
Personal issues, okay. And the next person you're going to appoint, will he resign when you change boards? Or change
Will he what?
council? You think he'll resign when the council changes, he or she, the next person you'll appoint?
Will he resign then?
Will he or she leave after the council changes in January?
No, they're set for a certain, they could, but I mean, they're set for a certain term. They're fulfilling an unexpired term.
And that expires when?
Yes.
Now, when does it expire?
Oh, when does it expire?
2018.
I'm not sure when it does. A couple of years, I think it's
I think it's 2018.
She's filling in for Nels, who was appointed.
I think
They got
it's
3 years left.
3 years.
Okay.
Thank you. Is there anybody else? Okay, we'll go to council comments on this.
Mayor, I'd like to propose someone that I think everybody could get behind. We need, for the MUA board, someone who understands water and sewer. Someone who would be an engineer would be a good thing. Someone who is not political, is not going over there with a political agenda, just over there to solve problems and help the MUA get on track. And this gentleman I've talked to, he's not flaming to dissolve it. He's not flaming not to dissolve it. He wants to just solve problems. He's going to let the council and the people of this township decide what's the best way for the MUA to proceed. But we need someone over there that understands. And the gentleman that I'm referring to is Bill Murphy, William Murphy. He has a degree from New York State. He has a PE license. He has certificates from Rutgers University in water treatment. He has worked for many, many years at the Brooklyn Union Gas and New York City Water Supply Pipeline and Substation in the city of New York. So if you can do it in New York, you can do it anywhere. And it just goes on. I think council has the resumes in front of you, but just encourage you to look at William Murphy's credentials, because I'd like to, and ask that we unanimously appoint him as someone who's just qualified to be on that MUA board. And
Are there any other comments from council?
Yes, I also would like to put someone in the mix. Obviously, someone that's attended all the MUA meetings and has also been a part of council up here, and that is Jackie Henderson. She's been obviously involved in the MUA for some time now. Like I said, attending meetings, doing research, and being, like I said, she served time up here. To my knowledge, the council put her on up here, appointed her, and everyone said what a wonderful job she did. I think she would be a great asset to our MUA.
I'd like to second the nomination for William Murphy.
Well, let me, before you do that, and that's good, but Tom, do you have any comments?
I'm in the same boat as him. I was going to second a motion.
Okay. Yeah, I just to clarify, you talk about like not leaving the next council in a position, and you know what I'm referring to, which goes back to 2008 when a
And-
whole series
and
of
other
contracts were signed. This is not a contract. This is not something, that contracts that were signed after we had won the election and before we came on created a monster of a tax increase.
Actually, it brought us to a 0 tax increase, if you remember correctly.
Well, if you look at it, that generated down the line, it was, now, we had a tax increase as soon as we came in with that in '09. But that being said, you take a look at it, but those contracts, we had no say in it, either before they were generated or out front. That's neither here nor there. I'm just saying to you that this is the order of business of government. There's
You
still
brought
6
up
weeks.
appointments specifically in the past. I can't remember the exact date, I'm sorry, about appointments not being made like this at the last minute.
Well, that one I don't have,
No,
but I
yeah.
do have the one about the contracts, and I have it right here.
That's fine.
Okay, and that was in December of '08, about I'll say 4 or 5 contracts were signed from a council that was leaving that we inherited when we came in and had to deal with. And there was no way out of those. Theoretically, there's a way out of this. I mean, you can always, reverse this if for some reason there was cause to do so. But that being said, we move forward and, just try and work as far as in this issue together. So I didn't mean to interrupt you. I
That's
just
all
wanted to
right.
clarify that. So Go ahead, you were about to say
Well,
something.
you didn't want seconds at the time, you stopped Jimmy.
Well,
I'm seconding. I
okay.
was doing the same thing as Jimmy, so I
Okay,
didn't do it.
all right, good. Jimmy seconded it, and we'll go.
Right now, we have 3 motions on the floor, one to table, one for Bill Murphy, and one for Jackie Henderson. So we need to,
Correct, yeah, that was in fact, I think, Mr.
No,
Conrad's
it's-
motion, so.
Right,
Need a
do you
second
need
for that,
to-
and that,
Well, it wasn't
Right.
seconded.
No,
we don't
wasn't
have a
second.
second for that to table?
I don't know, do we?
No,
Okay,
that's,
I'm not-
we have a
okay.
second? Nope, okay.
so then we go
So
to.
now the next motion was by Deputy Mayor Clark
Right.
for William Murphy.
And that was seconded by
Was
Jim.
seconded? Okay. By Councilmember Neville. So now we'll take the vote on that?
Yes,
Councilmember Conrad?
No.
Councilmember Neville?
Yes.
Councilmember Simonson?
No.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
yes. Okay, down we go. We have administrative reports. Do we have any council comments on the administrative reports? And we do note that,
William Murphy's in the,
well, maybe you can introduce him when we go to,
yeah, we'll introduce him.
in a moment.
Yeah.
We go to council comments.
I'm going to keep it real short. I want to thank the voters of Ward 1 for their continued support of myself and what I stand for. I'm looking forward to the new year. There's going to be some changes for some things we have to get back on track of that when I was out talking to people, what they want done. And in the next few months, we will be starting to implement that. Other than that, thank you for coming out and have a good night.
I too wanted to thank the people that helped support me, and I want to congratulate Dave Perry. I think you got the message today through your son, and I want to congratulate him on also being environmentally friendly, and the next day, almost all the signs were going from the landscape, so that now it's time to move on with the town business as it is, and the people have spoken. Thank you very much.
All right.
I guess, obviously, thank the people that came out and voted, and just to be thankful for that right that we all have, and to cherish it for, moving on. It was quite an eventful Veterans Day in Cape May County. It was a great celebration. The mayor usually, helps preside over the VFW VFW celebration in the Villas, as well as the one in Cape May County at the Cape May County Cemetery. It was followed by a great, I can't say enough about a young man, Zachary Lambert, who did his Eagle Scout project. He reconstructed the prayer garden there, and if you get a chance, if you're ever up that way, stop in and see it, because it's something to be seen. He did a heck of a job on it. They had a nice celebration and ceremony as they dedicated the prayer garden up there. Whether you know someone, a loved one that's buried in the Veterans Cemetery, or you just get a chance to go in and pay your respects, it was quite an accomplishment on his part. And he's a citizen of our township and a student at Lower Cape May Regional. With that, I just want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, because we won't see you till after. And that's it for me.
What our veterans have fought for is the right to vote, and it's a precious thing. It's something that we probably take for granted more than we should. But at every election time, many people, we have to remember, paid a dear price for our ability to be free and choose where we want to worship, choose where we want to speak, and choose who we want to represent us. I want to thank the clerk and the deputy clerk and all the people that stayed up really late and organized an election. It's a big deal to get it all done and do it right. And you've got another one coming up. So double duty. So on December 9. I just want to say that the Economic Development Advisory Committee, which was started by this council almost 2 years ago, is set to turn itself off at the end of this year by virtue of its founding charter, that we would sunset it at the end of this year. And so we all of us put 10 good minds with experience in economics and business onto this committee, and they've they've been coming up with ideas, they've been having meetings and lots of discussions. We've reported out some of those things, and we're going to take advantage of the last meeting of the year, December 15th, to let this committee report out their findings and considerations for the Economic Advisory Board. As a result of the work that we did on this Economic Advisory Board, Eric and I have been working together on it. We were asked by Senator Van Drew to participate in the First District Economic Development Committee, which is now going to be going forward. It's chartered by the state of New Jersey. It involves not only Lower Township, but also the other municipalities in Cape May County. And we're recognizing that if we're going to lift ourselves up, we need to be working with the other municipalities. We're going to be needing the help of the state as well. So I give credit to the good work that this Economic Advisory Committee has done, is to raise the issue in the area and get the attention of folks, and I think this was one of the reasons why we were asked to serve on the District 1 Economic Advisory Committee. That's all I have to say.
That's it, huh? It's like feast or famine with me. This is feast week. I mean, I have a lot here. First of all, congratulations to Dave, Eric, and Tom. I know you'll do well up here. And thank you to Jimmy for your service. You've done a great job up here. We have a variety of items coming up here. First is the Christmas tree lighting, which is Tuesday, December 2nd, 7 o'clock at the Rec Center. The Rotary will be honoring all veterans, and this is important here. If you have a veteran, you know a veteran, you are a veteran, you plan to attend, please either stop by Town Hall and give us your name and branch of service, or forward the information to the township via email to the clerk township at the township.org. Just go on the township website. That's important. You know, it's a town's way of saying thank you to our veterans. Then we have the Chamber of Commerce Hospitality Day, which is different than the other years because we're starting earlier. That is December 5th from 2 to 7 p.m. That's the hospitality where they go up and down Bayshore Road, December 5th from 2 to 7 throughout Lower Township. Contact the chamber for a list of participating merchants. And it's coming out of here, right? Okay. Now this one here I need to talk about for a moment. It's a special election on Tuesday, December 9th, and the hours are 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. Make sure you get out and vote no. There's a question here. This is going to be, it's in the interest of this township. It's a utmost importance that our residents come out and vote, and they come out and vote no. This is an election that's going to operate in a vacuum. There'll be no other election items that day. There'll be no other races or anything like that. So you need to go out and not only vote, but you need to bring anybody you know. This will be of significant damage to this town and its education system if somehow Cape May was able to withdraw from the regional district. This must be prevented, and people have to understand how important this is. We're talking of hundreds of dollars in increased taxes for you, for the average homeowner. If for some reason, through apathy, through mistake, what have you, this vote was not to be successful and people came out and it carried the day, it was yes. There has to be a massive amount of people coming from these neighborhoods, every neighborhood of every corner of this town, that will vote no. It's in the best interest of the residents of West Cape May to vote no, because the burden will fall on them. If Cape May is allowed to withdraw, the burden not only falls heavily upon you here as taxpayers in Lower Township, but the burden will also fall on the residents and property owners of West Cape May. The only winners in this would be the residents and property owners in Cape May City. I don't know how to stress this enough. We have brochures. We need to contact as many different people as you can. But there has to be a no vote. You can't sit back because the vote was pretty successful in the last election, 3%, something like that voted no. We need to get people out. And if you can help by just contacting your neighbors, getting your family to come out, we can't do this vote December 10th. It has to be on the 9th, and we have to come out for this. Okay, so don't forget this. And we're going to be banging the drum more and more on this thing from whatever base we can. It's important. FEMA flood maps open house Friday, December 12th from 4 to 8 p.m. at Cape May Convention Center. Representatives from the state, Cape May County, and FEMA will be available to answer flood risk and insurance questions. That's FEMA flood maps open house Friday, December 12th from 4 to 8. Then we have the Lower Township Rotary Christmas Parade, December 13th. It starts at 7, and it starts at Bayshore and Breakwater and continues south on Bayshore to Rose Hill Parkway. Again, that's December 13th at 7 o'clock, the Rotary Christmas Parade. And we can't thank the Rotary enough for what they do. Between the parade and the tree lighting, they put a lot of work out. And here comes another one, Rotary Christmas House Decorating Contest. You have to be on the list by noon Friday, December 12th. Judging takes place on the 13th and 14th. That's the Rotary Christmas House Decorating Contest. Then we have the Ferry Merry Christmas, December 20th, at the Ferry Terminal, noon to 3 p.m. It says 20th on my list. Are you sure it's the 21st? Is that a Saturday? Sunday it is?
Nope, she's right, December 21st.
All right.
That's what the resolution says.
I know nothing. December 21st. then.
Sunday,
My-
December
my mistake.
21st,
I'll
noon
take a
to
hit
3
for the
p.m.
team.
It says on the resolution.
I'll go down with the team. That's my mistake.
No, that's all me.
All right, no.
I did it.
No, it's not. Relax. We got it before I went to
Right.
print, December 21st. New Year's Eve event is Wednesday, December 31st, 6 to 9 p.m.
That one's right.
at the Rec Center. That's the New Year's Eve event, Wednesday, December 31st, 6 to 9 p.m. If you need any information on any of these, we have it available afterwards. And, Thanksgiving's coming up, and thank God the elections come early so that you can have peace for Thanksgiving anyway. And so we are grateful for many reasons, for our workforce that keeps the township moving and safe, and who are constantly asked to do more with less. For our volunteers who fill the void the township cannot. For our veterans and our military, especially those far from home, and for our residents also, especially, who we on council, all of us, wish to thank for the opportunity to serve them. We have a great town, one that is truly blessed. May the Lord above be with all of you this Thanksgiving and throughout the holiday season. With that, we go to the call to the public. If anybody wishes to address council, step forward and identify yourself, and we'll go from there. Ed?
Good evening, council, ladies. I'd like just to follow up a little bit more on what you brought up as far as the vote. Oh, my name's Ed Butler. Should remind me. I forgot who I was. All right. Well, anyway, I live in the Villas. I want to bring that up and talk about a little bit because as far as the Taxpayers Association, we've been sponsors and trying to get out there.
Yes, you have.
We put out all kinds of signs, literature, talked to people, went to different committees and talked to them and stuff like that. And what bothers me real bad, 2 of our wards were fine. They voted favor or no. And I'm going to ask Councilman Conrad, what happened in Ward 1 when it completely went as a yes vote? And you're in Ward 1, and you did sponsor it to a degree, but can never figure out just what happened.
Well, if you notice, I was up here saying no, just like everybody else, but from talking to some people, they didn't like the messenger. They just went against it. It's not my opinion. I voted no. I told everybody I knew to vote no.
Yeah.
But some people just didn't like the messenger at the time. I
Well,
think we need to just-
actually, excuse me, the messenger was the Lower Township Taxpayer Association.
Not on the
They're
road.
the ones that really
Okay.
funded this.
Ed, slow down, just please. What you can't prove in this is what caused that vote, but what you can do is say what did not cause it. I don't think it was the robocall, and I'm being
Okay,
honest.
well, he was talking, can I finish?
Yeah,
There's
okay,
also
go ahead.
another train of thought that was out there. Now, then Mayor, you wanted an answer. The other train of thought certain people were starting to have, and it started to hit the paper, some people think that if it does happen, that we're going to put the two school districts together, so they're like, is this going to work? That's not on the ballot. And people have to understand this is a no vote, and that is the only thing on the ballot is we have to vote no.
To me, it
I don't
could
know
have
how
been-
much clearer we could get on that one. All council was unified on this, all the candidates were unified on this, and it was no, 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 no. Everything that came from us.
It could have been no more clear.
Yes,
The no.
some
Wait,
people, it's,
How do you spell no? White yes? No, it was a no on the signs. It
that's
was
the best
everything that
answers
was
I can
out
give you.
there. And actually, to have this come up like that, I'm asking you on this time, the next election, which is December 9th, to try to get your people in Ward 1 and make them understand, because we'll still have stuff out there that's saying vote no and what it does to you. Personal example, on my property, and maybe people don't understand this, and they better understand it, because when it comes down and it passes, it's on your assessed value. My assessed value is more than the $200,000. I'd be paying approximately $1,000 more to the schools. Now, it's going to vary in there. It's not going to be a set thing, and that was spelled out. That was spelled out on November 4th election. If you read that item in there on number 3, on that one, it told you exactly what it was. And it should, there's no vote. It's just trying to get the people to get out there. I think the mayor's completely right. We have to have a good turnout. The people has to get their stuff out there and vote from 2 to 9. So we're pushing that, and I just thank you for your time.
okay. And what we have to do is one of those old schemes. If everybody in this room and everybody goes out and tells 10 people to make sure they go out there and vote no, just 10. I'm going to go to more, you're probably going to go to more, everybody on council is probably going to go to more than that. But if everybody goes to 10 people and tells them, we'll get this taken care of.
Well, we certainly did our part. I'd like to
Yeah,
see you do your part.
And I did my part the last time, and I told everybody no. You just,
Only at the meeting here, and I don't know how far.
Excuse
it
me,
went,
guys.
But,
All
all right, I'd just like to thank you for your
All right,
time.
and wait a second, I'm not done with this, and I'll comment real quick here. You can't, short of spending money to do a survey, you can't determine what went wrong in that specific area, because the stimulus from the outside was the same. I mean, in the sense that you had people, the same robocall went townwide.
yes.
So that explanation doesn't cover why
Okay,
it
this
was
is a matter of
overwhelming
opinion.
in 2 and 3. Okay.
But I went and talked to some people, and one that said they.
Yeah, but
voted yes.
that's,
I know,
you
it
can't
doesn't-
extrapolate that to the entire
Well,
thing.
We
You could
extrapolated a lot of other things on this council, tell their things.
Listen,
and
You know,
I've-
you
we've
sit
been
back
proven-
and you say, well, you've got a set of circumstances where you have specific districts that voted the wrong way in the same building where you have other districts in another ward that voted overwhelmingly the correct way. And it's difficult. I mean, what we don't want to lose focus of is that reality is that over 80% of the town voted no. And that was the best part about the whole thing. Short of spending money to do some kind of a poll to determine what was going on, and it's obviously that some people were confused by the question.
And that's why this time we all have to clearly, as I said, let's all go out
And
and say
I
no
get
to
that,
everybody.
but I don't think it boils down to a specific person that was at fault for this, whether it was you or somebody else, and I don't buy that.
Okay.
I think that it was simply one of these deals where some people, got confused with it. Maybe it was the first time they voted, maybe it was whatever. All I know is that we basically turned John's store, Geiss's, into a vote no center. I mean, there were signs in there, there was handouts given to everybody. I mean, I watched Ed Butler stand in front of St. Raymond's for 14 hours or whatever.
And Janet was at
Janet
town
was
hall.
down here.
Yes.
As it was in the same treatment was given in everywhere, the same calls, the same newspaper articles, everything. It just turned out differently, and there's a need to make sure that it doesn't happen that way. So we kind of pushed that behind us because like we said, we had that 80% positive vote, and we go back now to trying to make sure that December 9th is fine.
Well, Mayor,
This gentleman has a guy over, yeah, go ahead.
Also, real quick, I mean, I think it will, the simplification of this, like you mentioned earlier, there's only one question to vote on this time. And so there's no candidates, those other questions were confusing as well, I'm sure, for a lot of people. So this is one question, and we look for one outcome, and we're all going to be on the same page, trying to spread that word.
We got you. This gentleman had his hand up here.
John Skronsky, 607 Arctic. I didn't hear anybody mention on this subject, but Cape May City, I read in the paper, is having a meeting of all their citizens. The mayor called out to all the citizens of Cape May City to attend a special meeting to talk about this election.
Okay.
So, and being this is only one question on this ballot, there's a lot of people who aren't going to come out. So it's important that somehow we make sure people in this township know what we're up against. Thank you.
We have done everything that we legally could do, and we've got, in fact, I saw your hand up, Janet, if you wish to talk. I think Janet's kind of taking point on this and putting the information out, and I'm sure we'll be doing more, but your point's well taken. Thank you. Janet, you had your hand up?
Yeah, Janet Pitts, just to add to what everybody said, we will be doing a lot of informational things. You'll see some of the same things that we had out before. As a matter of fact, you may see our signs out there, which I verified are legal to have out, so we just left them. However, they will be modified to let everybody know that this election is December 9th. And I want to emphasize to everybody who's encouraging people to come out, the time frame is different on this as opposed to your typical election. It starts at 2 in the afternoon,
Right.
and it'll end at 9. Now this, you especially got to encourage our senior population who likes to come out early in the morning and then have the rest of the
Right.
day, and they don't like being out at nighttime. So if they would come early, that would be, really meaningful. I think it can boil this down to real simple, that you just need to vote no, or your taxes are going to increase. The interpretive statement, if they try to read that will confuse them. So that's the message. Get out and vote, and it starts for 2 o'clock. It'll end at 9 o'clock, and just vote no, or your taxes are going to significantly increase. I think if we keep it simple, and like Eric said, there's only one question, so hopefully they won't be confused with other questions. So, and this is just the last battle in the war, and we've got to win this one. We won the first one, we have to win the second one, or we'll lose the whole war. So get everybody out there that you possibly can. Thank you.
Thank you.
Janet, is it the same locations that you vote every time?
You're right. Yeah, it is the same
Same polling
polling
places.
places
That's a good
as
question.
you typically would go to.
Right.
Thank you.
And I think one of the benefits we do have in this, like we said earlier, is that the last election, it was in the interest of the taxpayer in West Cape May to vote yes and against us. That's reversed this time. It's in the interest of the people in West Cape May to vote no, because they will bear a disproportionate share of the tax increase if this doesn't go the right way and Cape May City pulls out. Because they're not on the ballot to withdraw. It's only Cape May City. I'm sorry, somebody had a hand up, this gentleman. There's two. What? Just you two gentlemen, one then the other one.
Yeah, Bill Greenfield, Villas. Yeah, I talked to Tom about this before the meeting and seen an article in the newspaper, and I guess your closed sessions about that. But about not having Mr. Vole return as township manager. When they first proposed hiring him, I called Tom up. I was actually against the idea, and I got up at the meeting and spoke about that. But as time went on and he did his job, he changed my mind. I thought he was done a good job for the township, and I think with the police station and the MUA issue, no matter how he did his job, somebody up there is going to be mad at him. So I think he's done a lot better job than the last two township managers that we had before this, and I'd like to see it keep him. But that being said, if the new council does decide to replace him, I'd like to see it advertised in whatever publications you advertise these positions. I'm in favor of hiring locally, but with this job, I think you're better off getting somebody that's not local, that doesn't owe anybody any favors, isn't holding any interest, doesn't owe anybody anything. Just somebody that's going to come in and do the job and not be political. So,
Thank you.
okay.
Thank you.
This gentleman here has his hand up.
I want to open up some old wounds. Dan Anderson, Town Bank Road. The police are first responders to fires. They're first responders to medical emergencies. It's first responders to accidents. It's first responders to crime. And they're out there in all kinds of weather. Someday they may save your life or the life of someone you love. It's an injustice to pent them up in an unhealthy building. Something needs to be done as soon as possible. As for central dispatching, I was a volunteer firefighter for 23 years. In the 80s and 90s, we had communications about central dispatching. I've been out of the fire company for 18 years, and nothing has been done with central dispatching. If you read the paper, the county is also looking to put the OEM and central dispatching in the library. We need answers, Tom, right?
Yep,
We need something done.
you're right,
The
absolutely
police
correct.
do a good job, and they deserve better than the treatment that they're getting.
Have been getting. Got to be changing. That's one of the things we're changing.
Anybody else? This gentleman over here.
Joe Link, Town Bank. Again, excuse me, I want to talk about my street that I just built a home on, Glenwood Place. This has been an issue for some time, the last 2 years. It's been an issue when I lived on Crest Place for 33 years. This is a beautiful night in some respects, that it's muddy, rutted, and it's a disgrace that this street is in this condition. Now, for those who don't know where the street is, it is south where Bay Drive goes into Clubhouse Drive, and it goes towards the bay. There are 40 by 200 roads, and they haven't been paved. Now, what's unusual about these roads are that they're only roads unpaved from North Cape May all the way to the Millman Center. It's a very unusual thing, and I pay $8,000, close to $8,000 in taxes. Mayor, what do you pay in taxes?
Joe?
You have a street.
Joe,
I wish I had that ability to pay that much.
Joe, before you go on, I think the manager has something to tell you
Go ahead.
real quick.
Joe, I know that you deserve to have a road, and you're getting it. You and your neighbor, the guy you sold your other house to, it's on the schedule. Yeah, the gentleman's there. We talked about it before, and I thought he shared with you. It's on the schedule. Gary Douglas is going to be contacting you and surveying it, and it's going to be paved. The concern they had, and it's being addressed, is once it's paved, that if the water flows down as far as drainage issue, but your road definitely is scheduled to be done, you and your neighbor that you sold the other house to.
I have a problem, Mr. Roll. I'll be very honest with you. You made those comments, and I have reason to believe that you do not always tell the truth. And I'm not being,
That's not right.
well, it's
That's
okay.
not right.
Okay, can I go through what I want to say?
Yeah, you can, but
Okay.
I would like that you would be kind in what you say.
I'm not kind. I want
I know.
to be realistic, Mayor.
Okay.
Now, you pay a lot less than I do in taxes. Mr. Neville pays a lot less in taxes. And I think the Doris Clark, Beck, Neville, and Vol, you're all in the same boat. And I'm sorry, but I can't believe this. So let me just finish what I want to say. You gave Mr. Clark 25 minutes to speak 2 meetings ago. As far as I'm concerned, I've been in this township for 38 years. It's the first time I've been going to meetings when there were 3 committee people that I've ever seen something like that, where a person can get up, throw mud at their fellow council people, throw mud at the directors of the MUA board.
Are you talking about your road here, or where we're drifting off here?
well,
I mean, Can we stay on one?
Get back to the point where you
can
said
we
I'm
get
not
back
telling
to
the
where
truth?
we're
Okay.
paving this
Okay.
road?
Because I do tell the truth. You're all over the board.
Well, Joe, you're generating this yourself. Would you talk about
Okay.
the road so we can, there's other people that want to
Okay.
speak here.
Oh, wait a minute. You gave Norris Clark 30 minutes. Now, and I'm going to tell you why. I came up here. I had criminal charges against me. Now, let's get to the point now. Thank you very much. We'll get to the point. I went up and I reported an illegal violation on Glenwood Place. There's an individual in a vacant lot that has his fence in the street by approximately 8 foot. I paid for a surveyor, a licensed surveyor in New Jersey, and he said, Joe, you're absolutely correct. Now, please, I want to speak. Now, as far as I'm concerned, Mr. Vole had a meeting after about 30 days, never contacted me. He had a meeting on the grounds of the encroacher. Quite a few people were at that meeting. Now, obviously, I don't think that was the right thing to do. Now, approximately 2 weeks later, after 29 years running the Bay, every day, I've never had a problem with my neighbors. The meeting was there. I have 2 people who were at that meeting, and they said that those people were coached by Mr. Vole. Now, fine. I have no reason to think that Mr. Vole, he's the manager. The Faulkner Act clearly says that impartial, nothing political, but the most important thing within the law. So, I reported a illegal act, and I end up in court. And this is important, and I think it's very important to state this. And when I came to this microphone, I asked for open public records on the meeting that Mr. Vole conducted on the encroacher's vacant lot, or I should say on his lot, next to the encroached lot. At that meeting, I was told the open public records, it came through the clerk's office, and I know open public records go through the manager's office, and I was told, Mayor Beck, that there was no meeting on that property, number one. Now, I end up in court, 2 criminal complaints. Of course, I filed criminal complaints too. But you've got to understand my situation. Mr. Vole is in charge directly with the courts on an everyday basis. So I'm in a situation,
You have criminal complaints sitting now?
I have no idea. No,
Well,
they've been resolved.
Ron, I don't know that we can even discuss this.
Now, wait a minute. Hold on.
Okay.
Let's hold on.
Yeah,
Okay?
well-
It seems to me, some people, if they talk favorably about you, Mr. Beck, you have no time.
Is there anybody else you want to
time.
criticize? I mean, you're running the whole gamut up here,
No,
Joe.
No, I'm not running the whole gamut.
Well,
wanna
you know-
do- I'm explaining myself why I don't believe Mr. Vole.
You know, you've had trouble with your neighbors before.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
No, when?
Well, I remember a couple of years ago we were over there.
No,
But that being said,
That's not correct. Let me
let's-
finish.
if you have an active court case right now, if you have an active
there's
court
nothing
case,
that-
we can't discuss it.
Mayor, I came to your office on the next open public records, and I asked for the closed session meeting minutes. Do you know what you told me at the time? It's under litigation, and I can't discuss that.
That's from a couple of years ago, right?
That's correct.
Okay. That's another
Now-
incident.
No, only one incident, Mayor. One incident with two people. Okay? So, now, if you want to get the precedent, and we can drop this whole thing. The bottom line, Mayor Beck, is when I asked you, you said it was closed sessions, and because it was under litigation, you were unable to discuss it.
Okay?
Okay? Do you agree with that?
Probably at the time. That
Okay.
sounds like a reasonable answer,
2 meetings ago,
right?
you gave the deputy mayor 30 minutes to speak on behalf of Jim Neville, the council person, and he also had criminal charges against him, and you gave him a PowerPoint of who done it.
He didn't speak.
No, I didn't see
You
he
keep
spoke.
throwing the word criminal. No criminal charges were signed against you, and no criminal charges were signed against
That's incorrect. That's another,
It's summonses. It's local summons.
whatever you want to call it.
Not a crime that goes
Whatever
to the
you wanna
prosecutor's
call it.
office.
Whatever you want to call it.
I know the law. They'll
Okay,
tell you.
right. So the bottom line is, I was told, now, you gave, did you have criminal charges or a summons against?
Listen to me.
I'm not going to answer you, Joe.
No.
I'm not going to answer you because
Okay.
I have
Well, you
to work.
didn't. When I
Joe,
asked you to,
What is it you're looking for tonight? Can I ask you this and end this? Can you tell me what you're looking for?
I'm looking for a street.
Well, he already said, we started this 10 minutes ago, and he said that your street's going to be paved.
Yeah, but he's not going to be the manager.
Well, then he said
Look.
publicly it's here.
You said I don't tell the truth. I do tell the truth, and God knows it. So you listen to me for a minute. I instructed Mr. Douglas to get out there, measure those streets, and get it done, because it doesn't matter if you and I agree about anything. It's the right thing to do. Those streets are going to be paved, and that's it.
Mr. Vole, 4 years ago, you live in Pinellas County. The press, 2 publications approached you. Now, listen to me.
I didn't live in Pinellas County. Come on, will you get to your point? Get your streets paved. Don't call me a liar. I never lived in Pinellas County. I owned a property there, and that's it, okay?
Joe, you need to sit down.
No, I'm not.
Okay, well, I'm
Joe, may I
telling you.
suggest something to you?
No.
Joe, may I suggest something to you?
No, well, you're not talking to me. Why should I?
I asked you, may I suggest? I'm being polite. I know that's not one of your traits. You helped Dave Perry get elected. The next
did.
council, the
Yeah.
next council is going to be sitting here in July, or in January.
Sounds like
And-
sour grapes there.
No, not at all. Absolutely. What I'm saying is, he'll be the one that can help you get your streets paved.
You need
And it's
to
not
go.
sour grapes. I congratulate Mr. Perry. There you go.
Now-
It's assumed that he's not going to be the manager.
Now, I'm going to say
I won't be
this.
sitting here.
2 publications. Ask Mr. Vole, did he register, was he registered to vote?
What does this have to do?
His word. That's what it has to do with. If you lie once, you'll lie twice.
You know, Joe,
Intellectual
Joe, you need to
property.
sit down.
Intellectual property.
I got it.
All right, yeah.
Officer,
Officer.
can you get this guy? You need to sit down, Joe.
Joe, it'll be handled.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, does anybody else wish to address council? Go ahead, Bob.
I'm almost afraid to step up.
Yeah.
Good evening. Robert Rizzo, Mickles Run. Just like to make a couple of statements. First, I'd like to congratulate the Republicans for their victory on November 3rd, and I hope that the victory that they made will help the people of Lower Township, not the county Republicans or Congressman Lobiondo.
Okay, we're
With
going.
both the county and Congressman Lobiondo spent a lot of money to get the Republicans elected in the township. For example, if we're going to have a police station at the airport with the help of the county, which was discussed by you, Mr. Simonson,
Yes, sir. And we will.
I hope that priority gets done. However, the present station is a mess. We all know that. If you've ever been in it, you know it's a mess. And we also know that the station should be out here at our municipal complex, not off in the woods someplace.
Excuse me.
Something needs to be done to Shore Drive before it sinks into the bay. I drive it every day, and it's sinking. We drive at almost a 20-degree angle if you're heading down towards the ferry slip. So if you really want to promote Lower Township, then fix Shore Drive, complete with a bike path, for God's sake. It needs it. Specific to Ward 1 winner, Mr. Conrad. Tom, please inform the voters in your ward to vote no on December 9th, because the vast majority of the yes votes came from your ward. So make a special effort to get out there and tell those people to vote no this time, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Anybody else wish to address council? Betty?
Hi, I'm Betty Summers from the Villas. Mike, I got to tell you, that, like that man said, when you first came here, I didn't like you neither. I got to know you, I talked to you, and you've done a lot of things for this town. It was also in the paper that you're doing things that's not your business. That's true. It's Tommy Conrad's. You got Medic 1 for us. We have a rescue squad that's only an ambulance. I've been begging Tommy to do something. And even I called Trenton. We do not have a rescue squad. They cannot touch us. They're EMTs and they're EMSs. That poor Mr. Neville made a mistake and made a fool of him at that other meeting you had. You all laughed and hollered, thief, thief. And yes, they did get that Mr. Clark time to talk at that meeting, 30 minutes. You know, Tom, people saying that I hate you. And my family's responded, no, I loved you so much and had so much respect for you. I haven't been sleeping right since what you did to that poor Mr. Neville. You and him and the one that's not even on council. It's nothing but dirt still in the paper. And you know what's here?
Betty, you got to calm down, please.
Politicians who tell the truth will never win. There's one right here, Mr. Vole, Mr. Neville, the mayor, and Mr. Clark. That's why you lost, because I know for a fact, and you know, the dirt that you would not sling and throw because you're a gentleman and you're a pleasure to listen to, and just make them look goofy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Take care. Anybody else wish to address council? This gentleman.
Board members, my name is John Close from Town Bank, and I did buy Joe's house. And I would just like to respectfully go on record as asking when the street might get paved. Mike, would you know?
I talked to Gary Douglas this morning about that, and they're finishing up Clubhouse Road.
Right.
Once that's finished, then they're supposed to get in to do your two roads.
Do you think it'll be before the end of the year?
I hope so, and I'm hoping the weather stays warm enough so that and I'm told that the asphalt plants will stay open.
Okay, great.
So,
Thank you
but
very much.
We want to get it done.
Okay.
And you are a
Thank you.
gentleman. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Close the public portion.
Resolution number 2014-312, a resolution providing for a meeting not open to the public in accordance with the provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-12. This is for discussion on professional service contracts.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Neville?
Yeah.
Councilmember Simonson?
Not going to be in
Yes.
it.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.